Hey YouTube, this is Jaden Storm coming at you with another deck profile on my new Aquaforce deck post set 11. This is my last card Revonn build. Really happy that I finally have this deck finished. I've been wanting to play last card Revonn for so long, ever since I first saw him in the show. So I'm not gonna spend any more time yapping about the deck. I'm just gonna jump straight into it, and I'll explain my choices. For my starter, I'm using Advanced Party Brave Shooter, and the reason I prefer this, say you're not drawing your boosters, because that can happen, this serves as a good booster to whatever you want it to. You can move it. I normally move it to one of the rear guard boosters, not the vanguard booster, because I'm saving it for Dorothea. But I do like this card because if you do, even with the 12k, if you attack with the 12k attacker first and boost with this, it's going to swing for 20k still, so you don't need to draw into a Tier Knight Theo. So I really do like this card. It's really playtesting well as the starter. If I do seem to start having problems where I can't find my Gray 3, then I will switch back to Eric. For triggers, we're playing four this stand trigger, just because it's the new stand trigger, and then 2 copies of this stand trigger, so 6 stands. And then as a surprise, I'm playing 3 critical trigger. Aquaforce still revolves around a lot about stand triggers. The nice thing about this build of Aquaforce is you can pretty much tamper the trigger lineup any way you want. I'm playing this mainly just to unflip my damage, say if I need that last 1 unflip damage to finish my opponent off with last card Revonn. And plus, a lot of players don't expect Aquaforce players to be playing these, so I like this as a surprise. 3 draw trigger. It ticks me off that Aquaforce, we're not getting another draw trigger till set 13. And then 4 of the insanely adorable new heal trigger. So, for triggers, 6 stand, 3 crit, 3 draw, 4 heal. It's play tested very well so far. Did very well at my locals with this. I got second in the tournament. I ended up drawing terrible in the final match, and I was playing against Tachikaze. Tachikaze is a very good deck. I don't agree with how the skills are set up, but I'll do better next time. I just didn't really draw. For Perfect Guard, pretty standard in Monk's decks. You need it, especially with break rides running around now. For Tier Knight Theo or 8k boosters, in this deck, you can even use him as an attacker, even with the for early damage. You can stick him in front of your Brave Shooter starter and swing for 16. So Theo is so versatile in this deck. 3 Dorothea. The reason I play 3 of these 10k boosters is you need to put it behind your Vanguard. This behind last card Revonn off Limit Break is amazing. You hit up to 40 if you use his skill and flip over all your damage at the same time. But even still, 10k boosters for the Vanguard are so crucial. And then I'm playing 2 Mercenary Brave Shooter. They're your K clone. If you have 2 or less rested rear guards, they swing for 10. And that's how this guy works too. If he's boosting, you have to have 2 or less rear guards, and he'll be an 8k booster. And then for my final grade 1 Light Signals Penguin Soldier, just for a little extra draw power. And then jumping into grade 2s. For Tier Knight Lazarus, it is still the best grade 2 ride that there is, in my opinion, for this deck. 4 copies of Twin Strike Brave Shooter. It's our 12k attacker. He works just like the other 2 shooters in the deck. If you have 2 or less rested units, he swings for 12. And then 3 copies of Tier Knight Lucas. This is the other grade 2 I'd rather ride. I really do not like riding Brave Shooter unless I have to. But this is also not a bad option to ride as the Vanguard. Some players are playing that Titan card that whenever it's battling beside a card with Limit Break, it gains 3, so it shoots up to 11. I do not particularly like that card because it is an 8k rear guard, which is extremely low, so it's real easy for your opponent to pick off. So I just don't like it. And then jumping into grade 3s, we have 4 copies of I call him Anchorhead just because it's easier for me, but his name is Blue Flight Dragon, Transcore Dragon. Try and say that 3 times fast. But anyway, Transcore's ability is this. When an Aquaforce rides this unit, choose your Vanguard, and until the end of that turn, it gains plus 10k and the skill. When this card attacks a Vanguard, your opponent chooses a card from his or her hand and discards it. If he or she does not, until the end of the battle, this unit receives plus 1 critical, and your opponent cannot call units to the guard circle. So, very, very good very, very good break ride skill. Extremely good. The new Aquaforce picks away your opponent's hand even more quickly. And then Transcore's Vanguard skill is when he attacks a Vanguard, he comes a sweet 13k, so he can hit cross rides. Really, really good. And this is one of my favorite arts of cards. I think the artwork on Transcore is just beautiful. And I will say that the triple rare foil design on set 11 cards, it's probably my favorite up to date so far. And then finally we have 4 copies of Last Card Revonn, and I'm going to read you the SP one because it's the coolest. Last Card Revonn, when this unit limit break, counterblast 1. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, if the number of rest units in your front row is 3, you may pay the cost. If you do, this unit receives plus 3,000 and plus 1 critical. And then his other ability is counterblast 1 for 2k. What you're going to do sometimes, because if you're not using your counterblasts, say you haven't used one for Lucas and you break ride, he's going to be at 21. And then so you break ride, he's at 21. What some people do is, if you know your opponent does not have a perfect guard in hand, or they have a very limited hand, what they do is if they have 5 unflipped damage, they're going to counterblast 4 times to give him a plus 8 boost. So then he goes from 21 to 29. And then when he swings, when he's the 3rd attack of the turn, because you'll have every unit in the front row rested and boost with Dorothea, that's going to make him 39. And then you'll activate his limit break and counterblast your final damage to give him plus 3,001 crit. That takes him to 42,000 power and 2 critical. And then before your opponent can even start guarding that attack, they have to discard a card from their hand. If they don't, then he gains an additional crit, putting him at 42,000 and 2 critical. So really, really, really awesome card. This deck is more fun than ever. I've had great luck with playtesting it. I think it's easily one of the best decks in the American meta right now. It is extremely consistent, and the break ride with this deck will tear any deck apart. You take any deck and you take away their hand advantage, eventually they're going to run out of options and they won't have anything to do. So it's kind of like what the SP Revonn says. Just give up. There's no way you're going to win with that hand. If you have 3 cards in your hand and you're staring Last Card Revonn in the face and he's 42,000 and plus 1 critical, you're not going to be able to do anything. That's just how it is. But anyway, guys, this is my build of Last Card Revonn. Feel free in the comment section below to tell me what you think about it. I know my trigger lineup is a lot different. A lot of the builds that I've seen online still play the 8 stand trigger and then 4 draw trigger. I just don't think that the deck needs max stand triggers, so I wanted to tech a couple other things. And so far, the 3 critical and 3 draw trigger, I normally drive check 1 to 2 of each of them a game, or damage check them, so it really works out. So I'm gonna keep it like this for now. This is been a really I was really surprised how well it did at my local Saturday. I mean, I knew the deck was gonna be good, but I was surprised at just how good. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe, thumbs up this video for me. I'd appreciate that. In the comment section below, please tell me what you think about the deck. If you'd like to share with me any of your options or your techs of the deck, I'd love to hear the ideas. I always like to hear ideas, to hear what you guys have to say. So please do that for me, and I will see you guys later.